to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today, we're talking about the most commonly asked tech questions that people want to know, or I should say, ask me, because that would be more appropriate. As a tech expert and owner of Integral, I'm constantly asked all the time by people about specific tech questions. And I think it's probably best to make a video about this and share with you what the answers are to most of these common tech questions. So we'll get it out started off because we have a lot of questions to go through and a lot of answers to provide. So I think the number one tech question that most people ask is which brand of computer is better and which brand of smartphone is better. So we'll start with computer. So which brand of computer is better, Mac or Windows? Well, to be honest with you, I think both computer manufacturer parts come from the same factories overseas in Taiwan or wherever they make computer stuff. As of right now, Macintosh computers run on Intel processors, and the same thing with Windows computers. And it's pretty simple. Once upon a time, Mac users wanted Apple users to use Macs. So they installed the processor that was used in Windows computers, which is an Intel processor. Same thing with hard drives in Mac and memory. Most of those items come from the same factories. It's just the operating system that makes it better. Now, we'll say this. As far as the difference between a Mac and a Windows computer, Mac computers are usually higher end priced computers. So an average Mac starts around between $1,500 and $1,700. So when you buy a Mac, you're basically getting a top of the line computer. And that's all Apple designs is computers that are high end. You could spend as much as $3,000 on a Mac, and most of my Mac users out there know this. So if you buy a $1,500 Mac versus a $400 Windows computer, obviously the Mac's going to have the better components in it. With the Apple, it's easy to buy a computer because all you worry about are the what size of MacBook you want or Mac Mini or iMac, as opposed to worrying if it's got enough RAM or enough storage space. With Windows computers, Windows is geared for every price line. So you can buy a low-end Windows computer or high-end Windows computer. Most people opt for low-end thinking that they're outsmarting the industry by buying a cheaper computer. But trust me, if you've only spent about $300 or $400 on your Windows computer, there's no way it's going to compare to a Mac. But overall, it doesn't matter what computer brand you get, Windows or Mac, they're both going to be able to perform the same jobs such as searching the web, checking email, getting on social media. Even if you have graphic design programs like Adobe, as long as you get enough power in your Windows computer, it's going to fare as well as Mac. And of course, Macs have the reputation of being the better graphics computer and not business computers. But trust me, in my experience, you can use Windows computers for business. You can use Mac's computers for business. You can use Windows computers for graphics, and the same thing with Macintosh computers. So it doesn't really matter. Go with what you know and go with what's in your budget. In most instances, it will allow you to do what you want to do. So there's a Mac computer. It's got Catalina on it. The menu's down at the bottom. Start menu for Mac is up in the upper corner, whereas in a upper left-hand corner. Whereas on a Windows computer, your start menu is going to be down in the corner. So that's basically the difference. It's just the software in the computer as opposed to the actual devices. Now, what about smartphones? Now, I'm an iPhone user, and the challenge with iPhones versus Samsung or Android devices is just the repair aspect. If you have a problem with your Apple phone, you've got to go back to Apple. Android, you just go to the closest dealer. But I will tell you this. The top two brands of smartphones and tablets out on the market right now are Samsung smartphones and tablets and Apple smartphones and tablets. The craftsmanship and the durability of both Samsung or Apple are just, you can't compare in the industry. So as far as those brands are concerned, those are the top brands. But again, with technology, if an Apple or a Samsung device is not in your budget, you can definitely go with an LG or some of the other Android products and get the same life out of your smartphone. So our next question is, how do I know that I've been hacked? Well, that's kind of a tricky question, but it's one that's easily answered. So normally you'll see people post on social media that they've been hacked, where they're getting friend requests, you get spam email, anything that seems odd. Most people will assume that it's you've been hacked. That's not the case. If your email account or social media account or even your computer has truly been hacked, in most instances you won't be able to access that device at all. So if you see a message of someone getting hacked on Facebook, most instances it's a duplicate account that's been created on Facebook, and someone assumes that they're getting friend requests from someone they already know, that the account's been hacked, where in actuality it's been duplicated. Same thing with those spam emails. Spam emails normally occur when your email is part of a long list of forwarded or carbon copy emails that make their hands into a wave of a spammer. Or if your email has been part of a large data breach, then it winds up on a spam list. So if you see a lot of spam messages coming into your inbox, doesn't mean you've been hacked, just means you've been part of a large email that's been going out, and you just have to let it run its course until that wave of emails goes away. So our next question, well, going back to hacking, just real quick, just understand, as far as cybercrime is concerned, 99% of cybercrime requires user interaction. So as long as you don't click on links in emails or websites, then you're perfectly safe from most of the data threats and cybersecurity threats that are out there. But appearance of spam email, your computer acting odd, or just random instances of stuff going on with your computer doesn't mean that you've been hacked. Which leads us to our next question, which is, how can I keep track of all of those passwords? Well, as a cybersecurity and cyber or tech expert, I'm always recommending that people, I couldn't even get that word out, recommending, there we go, that people use different passwords for all of their online accounts. With that being said, it's best to either write them down using a pen and paper, or to make it more handy for you, it's best for you to use a password keeper software. Now you can use LastPass, which is a password keeper that allows you to keep all of your different passwords stored with all of your online accounts, or you can even save those passwords within your browser. So it doesn't matter if you're using Safari or Edge or even Chrome or Firefox. I almost said Foxfire, and people say that all the time. Firefox or Opera, then you can save those passwords in your browser just to make sure that you are keeping different passwords for all of your online accounts. The bonus of storing your passwords in a password keeper such as LastPass or your favorite web browser is that you can always go into the settings and see what your passwords are, and then you can print those out too, so that if you need a hard copy of those passwords, you can always have access to them. So our next question is, how do I keep my personal information safe? Well, there's many ways that you can do that. You could stay off the grid, but that doesn't necessarily keep all of your personal information private and safe. One of the things that you can do is you could use your browser and use what's called incognito mode. Now, incognito mode or in private mode will definitely keep your cookies from being viewed from different websites out there. So for example, if I were to go into Google Chrome, which I'll show you right now, we go to desktop and then go to Chrome, you can open up what's called a new incognito window. And what happens is it says that you've gone incognito. Same thing if you're using Microsoft Edge. You can just click on the menu on the upper right hand corner, go to new in private window, and lo and behold, you are experiencing what's called in private mode. Now what this does is it keeps your cookies hidden so that you can surf without websites picking up your cookies. Now cookies are files that are stored on your computer from various websites. Now it allows you to have a more robust experience when you visit that website, but at the same time, when you visit another website, advertisers can look at your cookies to see what websites you've been to and take that information and target advertising to you. Another way to keep your information safe online is to use a VPN, or what's called a virtual private network. Now, virtual private network essentially creates a tunnel that allows you to surf anonymously, so uh, that way cyber criminals can't see what you're looking at. Now, probably one of the easiest ways to use a VPN would be in the web browser Chrome. So going into Chrome, it's a simple matter of going up to the VPN button in the upper left-hand corner. You click on VPN, you turn it on, which it's already on, and when you surf the web, it will mask your information so that hackers and cyber criminals can't see what you do. The good thing about a VPN, and it doesn't matter if you use a VPN service like Nord or TunnelBear, you can modify it so not only will it mask your internet or IP address, but also you can tell it that you are surfing in a different part of the world. So if you want to surf the web and say that you're in Europe or in Asia, you can definitely turn those settings on your VPN and make sure that when you surf using a VPN, especially one within Opera, then criminals won't know where you are in the world, and it will keep your information safe and secure. Some of the other ways to keep your information private is on your social media accounts. You want to set your social media accounts from public to private, so that way hackers can't see your information in the cloud, and it keeps your identity a little bit safer as well, because under most circumstances, if you have a public social media account, all it takes is your name and a Google search for someone to locate your social media account. So keep that in mind. So the next question is always, what is the cloud? And that is a funny question, because basically the cloud is just essentially someone's computer. And many of you say that you avoid the cloud, but in all actuality, you are embracing the cloud. So if you're using email accounts such as Yahoo and Google and even iCloud or Outlook.com, those are examples of web-based cloud accounts. That means all your information stored in the cloud, which essentially gives you the ability to access your email from any computer in the world. Same thing with cloud-based drive services such as Dropbox, OneDrive, Amazon Drive, iCloud Drive, and Google Drive. Those are considered cloud accounts and considered working in the cloud. So whenever you want to know what the cloud is, it's not one place. It's a generic term to use to basically say that you're storing information on someone else's computer. Next question is, how can I make my internet faster? Now that basically boils down to your internet service provider. If you're having Wi-Fi issues at home, that's a different story. But if your internet is slow, it could be one of two things. Number one, you have to check your internet provider to make sure that your internet is working well. And one of the best utilities to do that, while my eyes dart off the screen, is to go to speedtest.net. If you go to speedtest.net, you can just basically click go. It'll give you what your internet speed is. And so right now my fiber is running kind of slow, but fast enough to stream. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. If your internet's running slow, actually I should be at 100 as opposed to 50, you can restart your router just to make sure that your router is reset. But if you're having issues in your home or office with Wi-Fi, then you would have to extend or purchase a range extender in order to make sure that you have full and robust internet throughout your home or your office. But always start with your internet provider first. Find out what speed you're supposed to be pulling, and then check with speed test to see if you are getting those speeds. And the next question is, how do I get my deleted files back and emails back? Well, now if you're using a web-based email service such as Google or Yahoo, if you delete an email, it normally goes into the trash bin on your email program. So a simple search of your trash can on your computer will find your email. Same thing with Windows computers and Macintosh computers. If you've got a Mac, you can go to the trash can down in the corner to retrieve emails that you may have deleted. And of course, Windows users, you can go to the recycle bin, if I can type that in and show you on the Windows computer. If you go to recycle bin, it'll show you where your files are, and that you can be retrieved, or they can be retrieved from the recycle bin. But unfortunately, if you've deleted those items from the recycle bin or the trash can, then you would have to rely on a data recovery service to retrieve those deleted files or your backup. So my recommendation is always back up your information. So if you delete something, you can go to your backup and retrieve it and make sure it's an automatic backup. But if you lose those files, then you would have to send them off to data recovery services, and those services can start at $500 and go up to a couple of thousand, if not more. So always back up your stuff. And our final question is, what is the best antivirus software? So truth be told, if you've got a Windows or Mac or smartphone or tablet, you really don't need any antivirus software because it's already built in. And for smartphones, it's just a matter of not downloading apps from the App Store. So if you've got a Windows computer, you've got Windows Defender, which I can show visually because it's down in the lower corner. If you click on the icon for Windows Defender, lo and behold, Windows Defender will show up and it'll let you know that everything's protected. Now, if you've got a Macintosh computer, it's called XProtect, but it's built into the operating system, so you really can't see that it's doing things, but it is working in the background. So you don't need to pay extra for Norton or any of those other programs out there. Same thing for your smart devices. If you've got a smart device, you rarely are going to get a virus with that device. The only way to get it, again, user interaction. So make sure you're careful what apps you download from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, and make sure that you're staying away from bad websites. So with that said, I hope this answers all, well, not all, but some of your most commonly asked tech questions out there so that you can get a better understanding of how technology works and what you need to do. So I always have to throw this out here, but be sure to subscribe, like, and share our channel and our live feed on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I think I forget something, Instagram. So anyway, like and share, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's tech tips and tricks that are designed to help you get the most of technology in your home or business. So like I always say, I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.